हाय एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। आज हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं इन्वायरमेंट साइंस के कुछ क्वेश्चंस एंड कुछ टॉपिक्स को, राइट। सो लेट्स कंटिन्यू द इन्वायरमेंट साइंस टॉपिक एंड दिस इज नथिंग बट the today's topic is environment degradation and pollutions. Okay, so what is the environment degradation and pollutions, and what is the main functions and what is the constituents of the pollutant elements, इसके बारे में हम लोग आज पढ़ेंगे। So my name is Sushil Kumar, and if you want to follow me, then you can join my Telegram channel. And if you want to follow my GS batch, or you can say GS group, then you can WhatsApp me. Okay, and we start the environment science and degradation and pollutions. So just starts. So first is what is the pollutants. So pollutions कितने तरह के होते हैं, है ना। pollutions की क्या बात करें हम, pollutions कितने तरह के होते हैं। So what are the types of the pollutions? So there are different types of the pollutions, and these are nothing but pollutions. It means what? जो pollutate करे, environment को pollutate करे, that is called pollutant elements. Okay, that is called pollutant elements, right? So now there are two types of the pollutants. One is the biodegradable, another is your non-biodegradable. Okay, so what are the biodegradable and what are the non-biodegradable pollutants, right? So first of all, pollutant that can be broken down by natural process, right? So those pollutants which can be broken down by the activity of microchemical cycles, or we can say by a natural process, that is called biodegradable pollutants, right? So the example of biodegradable pollutants are waste products, domestic waste products, agriculture resides, right? These are the biodegradable pollutants. As for example, you can see here, this is nothing but waste. So human waste, or you can say here the domestic waste product, that is called biodegradable pollutants. So this is nothing but human sewage and the food waste, right? So this is called biodegradable pollutants. Now come to the next. What is the non-biodegradable pollutants, right? So there are two types of the pollutants. One is nothing but your biodegradable, another is your non-biodegradable. So biodegradable pollutants, those which are rapidly decomposed by the natural process, है ना। natural process के कारण जो decompose हो रहा है, that is nothing but your biodegradable pollutants. Non-biodegradable, slowly into the natural environments, right? Degraded slowly into the natural environments. As for example, insecticides, pesticides, mercury, right? And lead, arsenic, plastic, radioactive waste, these all are the non-biodegradable pollutants. Okay, so now on the basis of the part of environment, we can say here there are three types of the pollution in your environment. Okay, so there are three types of pollution in the environment. One is called air pollutions, another is called water pollutions, and third one is your soil pollutions, right? So there are three types of the pollutants: air pollutions, water pollutions, and the soil pollutions. Okay, so this is the difference between the biodegradable and non-biodegradable, right? So you can just non-pollutants, pollutants, organic, all organic are biodegradable. Okay, and artificial, mostly polymers, are non-biodegradable. Plants, animals, vegetables, these are the biodegradable. Plastic, glasses, aluminum, these are non-biodegradable. Okay, now so air pollutions, and air pollutions having the different parts. So first of all, I am going to discuss the air pollutions. Okay, so there are various types of the pollutions. First one is your types of pollution is what? So first one is your air pollutions. So air pollutions is nothing but chemicals are released into the air through harmful gases, burning of fuels and other bioproducts, modern human life. This is nothing but your air pollutions, right? And polluted air can impact the breathing, cause of serious disease, human, animals, है ना। एयर पोल्यूशन के कारण कौन कौन से डिजीज होते हैं, बहुत सारे डिजीज होते हैं, है ना, एयर पोल्यूशन के कारण। mostly included with your breathing problems. Okay, so this is nothing but your asthma, one type of the air pollution problem. Okay, another is your land pollutions. So land pollution nothing but waste material produced by human are left accumulated on the earth's surface. So many chemicals such as pesticides, fertilizers absorbed into the soil. Okay, so if you use for the increase the productivity of the crops, So use the pesticides. Okay, so when you use the pesticides, fertilizers, these are polluted the land. So this is nothing but called land pollutions. Now another is your noise pollutions. So what do you mean by the noise pollutions? Noise pollution is nothing but humans produce excessive amount of loud noise. This is nothing but noise pollutions. So one of these noise pollutions. Another is your water. So water pollutions. So when water is polluted, right? So water pollutions can be produce a lot of disease, and this is nothing but when consumed by the human and elements, there is a many disease formed by the water pollutions. So there are various types of pollutants which is used in your water. Now light. So human produce excessive amount of artificial light that interference with natural cycles of light and darkness in the environment. That is nothing but called light pollutions. So these are the various types of the pollutions, right? Now come to the next. So what is the difference between a primary and secondary pollutions? There are two types of the pollutant. One is called primary pollutant, another is called secondary pollutant. Okay, so the primary air pollutant, these are derived from direct burning of source. Okay, due to direct burning of the source like coal, which cause a release of pollutants, right? As for example, CO2, CO, SO2, hydrocarbons, right? CH4, right? Methane, NO2. These all are the primary air pollutants. So primary air pollutants directly involved in your pollutions. That is nothing but your primary air pollutants, right? Now, what is the secondary air pollutants? Sir, secondary air pollutants is nothing but primary air pollutants react with the primary air pollutants react with your primary pollutants or water. So primary pollutants plus water, or we can say here primary pollutants plus water, or we can say primary pollutants plus primary pollutants. Okay, so primary pollutants plus primary pollutants, that is nothing but your secondary pollutants. So this is the difference between your primary and secondary pollutants. Okay, so CO, CO2, SO2, NO, NO2, these all are the primary pollutants. Now when it is react with your water, then this gives the secondary pollutants. As for example, SO2 plus water, this react and this gives the H2SO4. Okay, so this forms the sulfuric acid, and this is nothing but secondary pollutants, and this is your primary pollutants. So when primary pollutants reacts with the water, and this gives your secondary pollutants. This is nothing but your primary. This is the difference between primary pollutants and your secondary pollutants. Now come to the different types of constituents of your primary pollutants and what are the composition of the primary pollutants. So my dear friends, let's discuss the topic composition of primary air pollutants. So what are the composition of primary air pollutants? So there are various types of composition which is used in the primary pollutants, and first is nothing but particulate matter, right? So what do you mean by the particulate matter? Particulate matter nothing but this is the PM. It is represented as PM. Okay, so it is a solid particulates, or we can say liquid droplets, when are small enough to remain suspended in air. That is, as for example, smoke, dust, asbestos, fibers, pesticides. These all are the particulate matter. Okay, so PM 2.5, it means what? Its diameter is nothing but less than 2.5 micrometer. PM 10, it means its diameter is less than 10 micrometer. So the asbestos or smoke or dust or small particles whose diameter is less than 2.5, whose diameter is less than 10 micrometer, this is called air pollutants. This is nothing but your air pollutants, right? So these are the air pollutants. Now come to the next. So first is your particulate matter. Second is fly ash. So what do you know the fly ash? Fly ash actually this is nothing but your carbon compositions. This is nothing but आप देखते होंगे. This is the waste produced in the industry. So the waste produced in the industry, this is nothing but called fly ash. So fly ash could be an expensive replacement of Portland cement. Okay, सो फ्लाई एश को अभी हम जनरली पोर्टलेट सीमेंट के जगह हम यूज करते हैं इसको, and improves the strength segregation case of pumping. So the rate of substitution typically specified is minimum of 1 and 1.5 pound of fly ash, 1 pound of cement. So fly ash is nothing but आप देखे होंगे, जैसे मान लीजिए कोई इंडस्ट्री है, इंडस्ट्री में देखते होंगे जो बच जाता है आपका, and this is nothing but your fly ash. So this is nothing but your fly ash. This is your fly ash. Okay. So fly ash is a byproduct from burning pulverized coal in electric power generating plants. Okay. आप देखते होंगे फ्लाई एश सबसे ज्यादा जनरेट कहां पर होता है, जैसे मान लीजिए आप थर्मल पावर प्लांट चले जाइए. ओके, थर्मल पावर प्लांट. सो इन द थर्मल पावर प्लांट देयर इज a burning of the coal. So due to burning of the coal there is a formation of electricity. Okay, so burning of the coal provides the formation of electricity, and the byproduct of burning of the coal, this is nothing but your fly ash. That is called fly ash. Okay, so fly ash particles are oxide rich and consist of, so what is the consist of fly ash? This is nothing but silica plus alumina plus iron oxide FeO2 plus calcium plus magnesium, right? Toxic elements, these all are the composition of fly ash. So this is nothing but your called fly ash. Okay, so this is nothing but fly ash के कारण कौन कौन से प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट होते हैं एनवायरमेंट में. बट so what are the problems create through the fly ash? Okay, so fly ash creates the various types of the problem. First one is groundwater contaminations. Okay, groundwater contaminations. So my dear students, आप डायरेक्टली यहाँ पर जो है अपना नोट्स भी बना सकते हैं. So just make the notes. Okay, and respiratory problems. Okay, सांस लेने में प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है फ्लाई एश. सेकेंड वन, reducing the efficiency of plants and trees by accumulating over their lips. आप देखते होंगे बहुत सारे जगह पे आप देखते होंगे पेड़ पौधे हैं, ठीक है, उसके पत्तों पे जाके आप फ्लाई एश इस तरह से लग जाता है, तो फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस रुक जाता है, तो उसका एफिशिएंसी डिक्रीज हो जाती है, वो इंप्रूव नहीं कर पाते अपने आप को, राइट. सो दिस इज द कॉन्सिक्वेंस ऑफ योर फ्लाई एश. नाउ कम टू द नेक्स्ट, ब्लैक कार्बन. सो व्हाट डू मीन बाय द ब्लैक कार्बन? So black carbon is nothing but it is a solid particle or aerosol contributing to the warming of the earth. Okay, so this is nothing but black carbon is commonly known as soot, धुआं, है ना. So it is a solid particle or aerosol that contributes to warming the atmosphere. Okay, so this is nothing but called black carbon. So soot is a form of particulate air pollutant and produced from incomplete combustions. Okay, so soot is formed due to incomplete combustion of the coal, or you can say the incomplete combustion of any particles. Okay, that is nothing but your called soot. So the black carbon is directly emitted into the atmosphere in the form of particulate matter, right? So the black carbon directly introduced in your atmosphere, this is pf 2.5. this is one of the form of black carbons. Okay, so black carbon warms the earth by absorbing heat in the atmosphere and by reducing the albedo, and that is nothing but called black carbon. Black carbon stay in the atmosphere for only several days of weeks. Okay, India and China are the largest emitter of your black carbon in the world. So this is the very important. India and China are the largest emitters of black carbon in the world. This is nothing but here called black carbon. Now the next composition of primary air pollutants is aerosols. So what do you mean by the aerosols? So aerosols is nothing but it is formed due to what? Aerosol किसके कारण form होता है? So an aerosol is basically a suspension in the air or liquid or solid particles. Okay, so suspension in the air or liquid or solid particles, as for example clouds. So clouds is nothing but one of the form of aerosols. So this is nothing but your clouds. Dust particles, volcanic ash, these all are the forms of aerosols, right? So due to aerosols having the different types of effect, they reflect or absorb the light and depending on the color of the particles they are composed of, and they provide condensation of nucleus, which means that tiny particles they are composed of help the atmospheric water vapor. Okay, so aerosols is nothing but one types of, you can say here, इसको आप अच्छे से यहाँ से देख सकते हैं. So an aerosol is a collide of fine solid particles or liquid droplets in air or another gas. You can say जब आप स्प्रे मारते हैं, आप स्प्रे मारते हैं तो ये क्या निकलता है आपका एरोसॉल, that is called aerosols. Okay, so liquid plus particulate matter, this is nothing but called aerosols. So aerosol spray is a type of dispensing system which creates a mist of liquid particles, and this is used with a can or bottle that contains a payload or propellant under the pressures. That is nothing but one of the form of aerosols. So this is called aerosols. Now the another is your, after the aerosols, this is lead and other metal particles. And lead and other metal particles, it is the primary air pollutants. Okay, so lead is nothing but primary air pollutants, right? H for example, tetraethyl lead, TEL, tetraethyl lead, this is nothing but one of the primary air pollutants. This is nothing but your primary air pollutants. Okay, so this is nothing but your lead. Now another is your carbon monoxide, which is a very important carbon monoxide. This is nothing but carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas emitted from incomplete combustion of carbon dioxide. Okay, or we can say here incomplete combustion of carbon based fuels such as petrol, diesel, woods, right? Petrol, diesel, wood, इन तीनों को आप इनकम्प्लीट कंबशन कीजिए, है ना, पूरे नहीं जलाना है, इनकम्प्लीट कंबशन के थ्रू जो निकलते हैं, दैट इज नथिंग बट योर कार्बन मोनोक्साइड्स. So carbon monoxide poisoning, and this is nothing but carbon monoxide is among the most toxic compound produced by combustion and the part of the combustion of smoke, and it is produced by the combustion of almost all flammable materials. Okay, so effect of carbon monoxide is combines with hemoglobin. Carbon monoxide is hemoglobin combined with the form of carbon hemoglobins. Okay, so carbon monoxide अगर आपका सबसे ज्यादा लेते हैं तो सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होती है, जैसे आपको माथा दर्द करना, हेडेक होना, ये सब कार्बन मोनोक्साइड पॉल्यूशन के कारण होते हैं. ओके, सो इनकम्प्लीट कंबशंस, जब आप पूरी तरह से कंबशन नहीं करते हैं, so due to incomplete combustions there is a formation of carbon monoxide. So this is one of the primary pollutants of your air. Now come to the next. The next is hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons is nothing but the combinations of the hydrogen and the carbons. Okay, so this is nothing but the compounds composed of the hydrogen and carbons and produced naturally during decomposition of organic matter, that is called hydrocarbons. That is called hydrocarbons, right? So there are different types of the carbons. This is aromatic compounds, saturated compounds, unsaturated compounds. So the combination of these all three, this is nothing but the hydrocarbons. Got it? So methane 1 or CH4, this is nothing but one of types of hydrocarbons. These are the primary air pollutants. Now one of the primary air pollutants is nothing but sulfur dioxide. This is SO2. So SO2 is the one of the primary air pollutants. Okay, so the largest source of SO2 emissions are fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, due to combustions of the fossil fuels, there is a generation of SO2. So oxide of sulfur, especially sulfur dioxide, a chemical compound with the SO2 are common pollutants of the air. So SO2 is produced by volcanoes and in various industrial processes. Since coal, petroleum contain sulfur compounds and their combustion generates sulfur dioxides. So further oxidation of sulfur dioxide, usually in the presence of a catalyst such as nitrogen oxide, forms the H2SO4 and thus acid rains. Okay, so when the sulfur dioxide which combines with the NO2 and forms the H2, when combines with your water, and this forms the H2SO4 and acid rain. So sulfur dioxide is one of the primary constituents of the air pollutants. Okay, so primary constituents of क्या है, air pollutants है. Okay, so SO2 जो है other compound से react करेगा, and after reaction this forms the pollutants such as nitrogen oxide, acetylene. This is the formation of by using the primary pollutants, and this is your sulfur dioxide. Now come to the next is nitrogen dioxide. So what is the nitrogen dioxide? NO2. So combustion of nitrogen and oxygen in the car engine at high temperature, this forms the nitrogen oxide. Forest fires, this forms the nitrogen oxide. Yeah, nitrogen oxide are naturally formed. So these are the main source of the nitrogen oxides. Okay, so if there is an increase in the pollutants such as a nitrogen oxide, then there is a formation of there is a problem in the breathing. Okay, so breathing में problem आपका start हो जाएगा. So there will be problem in your breathing. So this is nothing but your called nitrogen oxides. Okay, so nitrogen oxide is an important air pollutant because contributes to the formation of photochemical smog, right? So nitrogen oxide is the main constituents in the formation of photochemical smog, that is nothing but called nitrogen oxides. Now after the nitrogen oxides, I will discuss the composition of secondary air pollutants, right? So these are the guys primary air pollutants. Now I'm going to discuss in the next video lecture secondary air pollutants. Okay, so thanks for the watching. Please subscribe my channel and share to your friends. Thank you, and thanks a lot.